What's up, guys? Jacob Ober here. This is the first ever in-depth highlight analysis that I've ever done. I really wanted to try this out. Obviously, I don't really have film at my disposal, so I have to use YouTube highlights that the NFL posts, but I'm still going to try and get the same effect, try to go through the game and tell you guys what I liked, what I didn't like, etc., etc. So, without further ado, let's get started here. The Packers, 2nd and 10 here, first quarter, 8:10 left to play. This is going to be a screen pass. Rodgers pump fakes and then is able to get the ball to Aaron Jones. And I really like how the Packers are able to incorporate Aaron Jones more into this passing attack. I'm glad that they're trying to get screens to him. He's never really been known as a guy who's a big pass catcher, but I'm glad that they're trying to get him more involved in that area. He did have a drop on the first play of the game, but I mean, other than that, he was pretty effective in that area. And man, just watching this guy run after the catch, like, look at this. I mean, makes like 3 guys miss and is able to like fall forward for the first down. Just fantastic running by him. Here's a 1st and goal. This is a pretty basic Packer play. I wish they would use this more often, but Rodgers is just going to recognize he has a one-on-one, the slant route to Adams, right on the money, touchdown. I really wish that they would do that more often, not just in the red zone, but like all across the field. Davante Adams is really, really good in the open field. I want them to be able to get the ball to him more, especially on those crossing routes, slant routes. We don't see enough of it. I want the Packers to be able to utilize him in that area of the game. The more times that Davante Adams touches the football, the better. Get the ball in the hands of your playmakers. They do here, and it's a touchdown to Davante Adams. Here's the first big mistake of the game. It's a punt return by Tramon Williams. Initially, it looks like he's going to get a really good return, and he does, but then he gets crashed into and he fumbles the ball, gives it back up to Miami around midfield. I mean, I can't really fault him for this. I mean, I know you want the extra yards here, but to like try and run into these guys like you're about to like you're going to try and break them, I mean, I don't know. Well, it kind of felt like a fumble waiting to happen. So I'm not really sure in that area, but I wish he would have like made more of an effort to just try and get down, because he had a really good return as it is, and he was going to get tackled anyways. So, I mean, other than that, that was a great return, but you got to be able to hold on the football in that situation, and it gave Miami a little bit of life in the first quarter. Here is a big play by Aaron Jones. This is one of probably the highlights of the game. Look at this explosiveness. My God, he just runs past everyone. It's amazing to watch this guy run the football. It really is. Like, he's got a hole there, zoom. Like, you ain't catching him. And he starts to fade away towards the end of this run here. He does get tackled inside the 5-yard line. But, man, this guy is such an explosive runner. I'm so glad the Packers are trying to use him more and more. I wish that they would have started doing it earlier. I had a lot of very harsh opinions about that early in the season, but it looks like they're finally realizing that he has to be the feature back in this offense. Big defensive stop here early in the second quarter. The 3rd and goal for Osweiler. And this is just a basic 4-man rush, but the pressure is just enough to make him force this throw, almost intercepted by Raven Green there, who was a guy who came into this game virtually unknown, had a really big game though, almost picked that pass off, but it was a great effort by the pass rush to try and get to Osweiler, and I think that's what forced this errant throw by him. For me, this was probably the most frustrating point of the game. It's a 3rd and 2. And Aaron Jones is not on the field. It's Jamal Williams. Aaron Jones to this point was averaging 20 yards a carry. You need 2 yards here. What do the Packers do? They drop back to pass here. Looked for a shorter route, didn't get it. Rodgers kind of dancing around. No one's able to get open. He runs to the right, and he just has to throw this one away, unfortunately. Does the same thing here on the 4th and 2. They decide to go for it at midfield. And, I mean, where is Aaron Jones? I mean, And Aaron Rodgers, I mean, he gets sacked on the play, but you need 2 yards. Just give it to Aaron Jones. Get Aaron Jones on the field. That's what I wanted them to do. And after this drive, they did do that. They got him back on the field, and that was progress to me from Mike McCarthy, realizing that Aaron Jones is the thing that makes this offense run. The drive obviously stalls at midfield here. The offense has flown a lot better with Aaron Jones behind Aaron Rodgers throughout the season thus far. So I'm glad that the Packers recognized that and started to use him more often after this. These next 2 plays, I want to see the Packers do this more often. These were very very successful. This first one is just a basic slant route over the middle to Marquez Valdes-Scantling in open field. You get the ball to him, and he's going to make something happen. He's such a quick player, really good in the open field, a lot like Davante Adams. Here's another play here. The Packers are going to throw the little out route to MVS, wide open, let him get out in the middle of the field and make a play, and he was able to turn the corner and get just enough for the first down. He's a player I really, really like, and I really hope the Packers start featuring even more in this offense as the season goes on. He's going to be a really good receiver for a long time in Green Bay. 3rd and 2, late in the second quarter, the Packers got to convert this to stay in field goal range. Instead, they drop back to pass. This one is more on Aaron Rodgers to me. You watch the play develop here. I mean, look at the top of the screen right here. Right at this point, you got, I think that's Equanimeous St. Brown right there, wide open. Rodgers wasn't looking that way, though, so I don't think that he realized it until it was too late. But, I mean, he's got him wide open here. If he was looking in that direction, then that's a first down without a doubt. It was a little bit of an error on Aaron Rodgers' part, and you can't really take a sack in that situation. Push the Packers out of field goal range. Kind of disappointed with the Another one late in the second quarter here. Miami gets a first down. They have one timeout, 22 seconds to go. They're going to look deep here. They're going to try the one-on-one they have up top, and man, do they get away with one here. That was a touchdown if I've ever seen one. Jair Alexander falls down. It was pretty good coverage up to that point. He'd had a little bit of a step on it, but they were really lucky that Brock Osweiler missed that throw, because that was a touchdown that would have given Miami the lead heading into halftime, and maybe we have a different game on our hands if Brock Osweiler doesn't make that incompletion or overthrow that football. Here's another big play. This can't happen. You can't give up a blocked punt in that scenario. Miami is down only 5 points. They get the ball inside the 30 in this one here. That just can't happen. I mean, there's got to be some sort of change adjustment there. You can't be giving up block punts in that situation. Just not really a smart idea. For the Packers, Miami only got a field goal out of that, so the ensuing drive, it's a 3rd and 2. The Packers are going to run a play action. I'm not really sure what the Miami linebackers are doing here. They completely forget about Mercedes Lewis here, who was at one point a Pro Bowl tight end. They're going to leave him wide open. They're focusing all their attention down here at the bottom of the screen at Lance Kendricks. Instead, it's Mercedes Lewis wide open. He's going to run for a pretty big gain down here inside the red zone, or down to inside the 25, I should say. Big play for the Packers, set them up in really good field position, and gave them a chance to score a touchdown on this drive. Another example of Aaron Jones' explosiveness here. I mean, look at this. He makes a cut, makes a guy miss, and just explodes through the hole, and still keeps his legs moving, gets up, doesn't realize he isn't down, and gets across the first down line. Great play by him. Like I said, very explosive player. Love to see him play. Once again here, we have Aaron Jones' explosiveness, finds the hole, bursts through it, touchdown Green Bay. That was the point in the game where I was feeling pretty confident in Green Bay's chances. The momentum swing that could have been with the blocked punt did not come to pass, did not go in Miami's favor. They only got a field goal, and the Packers responded with a touchdown. At this point, I was feeling pretty good about this. Another big play that really swung the momentum in Green Bay's favor. 2nd and 9, 9:02 left in the third quarter. I mean, this is just a terrible throw by Brock Osweiler. I mean, it looks like the intended receiver is Bashaud Breeland. Instead, he throws an interception to Breeland, and it's just a terrible throw by Osweiler. Not really sure what he was doing there. Really risky throw to begin with, and it was behind. This was the 4th touchdown of the game, the 2nd by Rodgers. It's going to be to Adams here. Not really sure what happens. We don't really have a view here, but it looks like one of the safeties or DBs lost Adams in coverage there. He was wide open here at the top of at the bottom of the screen here. Not really sure what happened there, but it was a touchdown for Green Bay. It looked like a breakdown in coverage, but the Packers will gladly take it, and at this point they are up pretty convincingly in the game, 28-12. Down and 2 here. Even though Miami gets the first down, the next play, Troy Brown from Alabama. Great coverage here. Really good ball skills. I've seen nothing but good out of him in the few times that we've actually seen him on the field. Really good coverage here by Troy Brown. You can see it here. Really good. He's able to get his hands on the ball and poke it out from the receiver's hands. He might have a future in Green Bay here. He has really impressed me in his time. In the limited time we've seen him, made a lot of plays on the ball, and in his time he has made the most of it in Green Bay. So maybe we'll continue to see more of him as the season goes on. Big 3rd down here for the Packers and for Miami. Mike Pettin dials up a blitz. He blitzes Raven Green here at the bottom, and he's going to come around. He's going to get to Osweiler. Osweiler, whenever he was pressured today, he just kind of crumbled. He was not really good under duress. The Packers had 6 sacks today, and they really got to him, and that was a big reason why they were able to win this football game. This sack pushes them out of field goal range back to the 40, and they're forced to punt the football. Once again, Aaron Jones's explosiveness on display. I mean, he takes any hole and he just bursts through it. He has a nice little hole right here, just slips right through it, gets the first down. Fantastic running back. I love the aggressiveness here. It's a 4th and 3. You've got a pretty decent lead. Your defense has been really good in the red zone today. So the Packers go with a gamble, and they run a fake punt to Bashaud Breeland, and he makes a guy miss, and he runs all the way inside Miami territory. Really gutsy play call there. I really liked it from McCarthy. Glad he did it. Set the tone for the rest of the football game and allowed the Packers to get a field goal, which put the game essentially out of reach for Miami. 3-score game at that point. At this point, it was a 2-score game, 16 points. 2 touchdowns and two-point conversions could have tied it, but the Packers were able to put it out of reach with the field goal on this. This is no blitz. This is just a 4-man rush, but I mean, the Miami offensive line has been really bad. They get a little bit of pressure here, and then they just collapse on him and sack him back at the 50-yard line. Here's a 3rd and 11 here. The Packers, once again, this time it's Montravis Adams just shedding a blocker and getting to Brock Osweiler. Almost stripped the ball there. I believe that's his first sack this season for Montravis Adams. Not exactly sure. I'll have to check the stats, but he had a really good play there for the 4th and 13. And the Packers send another 4-man rush. They're able to get pressure once again, and Brock Osweiler once again crumbles and just gets sacked in the process. He was terrible under pressure today. Really never been a great quarterback under pressure, and the Packers were able to get to him today, and that's what virtually won them the football game.